Mr. Kelly, you
Yes,
have DeAndre Blewett.
That motion.
Yeah.
He was on the new case last week.
Yeah.
It's John just filed a writ today. That's on the new case. This is the MTRP that it's actually set.
Now we've got some witnesses and some evidence here on there, so.
How much? How long will it take?
I don't have any live witnesses, in-person witnesses. I have some certain specific clips of a 911 call and two of the officer's body cams I'd like to present to the court, but that's all I have.
Okay, let me take care of a few. I have a few kind of
I'll
quick
address
things I can take care of. Okay,
Thanks.
give me just a few minutes to take over. Good morning. You are DeAndre Blewett.
Yes.
And so we've got two cases here. We've got cause number 22-41150. And in that case, get it pulled up, please. Mr. Blewett is on probation, and all right, so it's an evading arrest or detention with the use of a motor vehicle, third-degree felony. It looks like placed on probation September 13th of 2023, and that was an 8-year deferred probation. There is a first amended motion that's been filed. It alleges, looks like a new offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon from February 1st of 2026, out past curfew, committing an offense of harassment, February 1st of 2026, avoiding injurious or vicious habits by brandishing a loaded firearm during the assault of Ms. Cantu on February 1st, 2026, that he brandished the firearm at the residence where a child was present, same date, associated with a disreputable person, Mr. Daniel Clark, who was at that same location during that offense or alleged offense, failed to immediately report that arrest for the aggravated assault with a deadly weapon to the probation officer, was intoxicated or under the influence of an intoxicating substance on that date, possessed a firearm and ammunition in violation of probation on that date. And Mr. Kelly has filed a motion asking that I set bond in that case. And at this time, is there any bond set?
There's no bond set in the MTRP, Your Honor.
Okay.
And the bond in
Yeah.
the new indictment is $800,000.
All right. So in cause number 26 DCCR 0632,
And if I may, Judge,
hold on a second.
thank you.
In that case, Mr. Blewett is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, second-degree felony, and that's from that February 1st date in 2026. And so the $800,000 bond was attached to that case by the magistrate when he was indicted. And Mr. Kelly has filed a writ in that case asking for me to reduce that bond.
Right. And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Blewett had originally posted the bond after that February 1st arrest. He has not been incarcerated since February the 1st. He was released from Jefferson County Jail, I think on February 3rd or 4th after that initial arrest.
Through accusation or through making the $800,000 bond?
That's correct.
He got out on accusation.
That's
So he hasn't made a bond in any.
That's correct. The new allegation, the aggravated assault case, was refused by the DA's office. We then attempted to resolve the MTRP case, we meaning myself and the state's attorney, Mr. Coleman. That case, I won't speak for Mr. Coleman, but procedurally, this is what happened. That case was then presented to the grand jury last week and indicted.
Okay.
So procedurally, that's where we're going.
And so, do you have a witness or witnesses for your motion?
I'd like to
Okay.
call Ms. Stelly, Judge, if I may, Officer Stelly.
Sure. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. And you can step up just a little bit. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Officer Stelly, would you state your name correctly, please?
Deshauna Stelling,
How are you employed?
Jefferson County Adult Probation.
Okay, and how long have you been at probation?
Approximately 1 year and 4 months.
How many folks are you currently supervising?
150.
Is DeAndre Blue one of those people?
Yes.
How long have you been working with Mr. Blewett?
For the 1 year and 4 months.
Okay, since you've been here.
Yes.
Okay. Did you inherit his case from another officer?
Yes, sir.
Is that a normal thing that happens?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Would you tell the court, please, you can estimate, or if you know the actual number, how many specific meetings as Mr. Blewett's officer have you had?
Maybe 10, roughly 10 or 11. We do every other month.
Every other month?
Yes.
Is it customary for folks that are on felony probation to only be required to meet every other month?
And they're in compliance, yes.
Has Mr. Blewett been in compliance up until this alleged new offense?
Correct, yes.
Okay. When you meet with him in person, those meetings are in your office? Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir.
Okay. Is he on time for those meetings?
Yes.
Can you recall any situations where he has been late or kept you waiting?
No, sir.
Okay. Has he been respectful to you during those meetings?
Yes.
Has he been respectful to other staff in the probation office?
Yes.
Has he been subjected to drug testing while he's been under your supervision?
Yes.
Can you tell the court how many times he's failed a drug test?
He has never failed any drug test.
Has he been subject to any other kind of chemical testing?
No, sir.
Okay. In terms of other things that he's required to do or that he's been required to do while he's been under your supervision, because you mentioned that he has otherwise been in compliance. I'm not addressing the February 1st issue yet. What other things has he been required to do other than not test positive for drugs and meet with you?
Community service, which he has completed, and fulfill his monetary requirements, which he's also currently in those as well.
Which requirements?
The monetary, like,
So he is
current obligation.
up to date on everything.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. Do you know where Mr. Blewett completed his community service?
He did some donations to some other place. So he completed 150 hours, and the previous officer held the other 150 hours in the bank.
Because he had completed those hours.
Yeah, within his first year on probation. Yes.
And that was within 3 years of an 8-year term. Is that right?
His first year. It was completed within his first year.
Understood. Where was Mr. Blewett working at the time that you started working with him?
Tesla.
What kind of job did he have?
I'm not sure exactly. Just with the cars. I know that he had a travel permit to travel, in and out. So I believe he was going to Austin, I think, to work. So we gave him a travel permit, permitted him to travel. I had no issues with him.
Okay. He was working diligently as required. Is that
Yes.
right? Okay. At the time of his February 1st arrest, were you aware that he had another job offer pending
Yeah, it's from ExxonMobil.
locally?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what kind of work that was going to be?
No, I told him that he could forward me over the documents from the person who offered him the job. He sent it over to me. The issue was that he was on probation. So I told him that early termination was a possibility because he was in compliance. So I believe since he had an 8-year term, it was about 2 years and 8 months, I believe. So he was coming up on that in March. So we were going to look at early terminology so that we could get that job.
He was otherwise eligible to at least petition the court for it.
Yes, correct.
Okay. When you first discovered, let me ask that a better way. When did you first learn Mr. Blewett was arrested on this February 1st allegation?
I received a flash notice on February the 6th.
the next day.
Yes.
When was your first contact with Mr. Blewett after the February 1st arrest?
So he came to report immediately upon his release, which was on February the 5th.
Did he tell you he got arrested?
Yes.
Can you tell the court what your reaction to what was to his arrest?
I was shocked because he never gave me any issues during his time on probation that I've been working with him. So I was very shocked.
Have you had further meetings with him since that initial contact?
No, it was just a meeting between me, him, and my supervisor. And since he was out on the accusation, we were just telling him not to contact the victim and that we did have to file a motion because of the alleged offense and that a warrant will be coming out. So,
Any other things covered in that meeting between you, Mr. Blewett, and your supervisor?
no. No.
In the time that Mr. Blewett was released on accusation and this new warrant was generated, was he otherwise in compliance for
Yes.
that short, maybe 8 or 10 day period?
Yes, sir.
Are you aware, one way or the other, if you don't know, then you don't know, as to whether or not he's had contact with Miss Cantu?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Are you aware, one way or the other, whether she has attempted to contact him?
No.
Okay. If he were, if Mr. Blewett were to make new bonds on each of these cases or otherwise be released, you would expect him to report to you immediately, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Are there any other modifications you would make at this point if he's released?
No, sir.
Do you have any concerns that he would otherwise be compliant under your supervision?
I have any concerns, no. I believe that he can be compliant.
And you don't know anything about this new allegation, is that correct?
I mean, not speak to him about it, no, sir.
Have you spoken with the officers involved in the arrest?
No, sir.
Have you spoken with the alleged complaining witness in
No,
the
sir.
arrest? Have you spoken with the state's attorney, Mr. Coleman, about the new case?
No, sir.
Have you spoken with anybody in the district attorney's office about the new case?
No, sir.
In fact, you, when you first learned about the new arrest allegation, you, I suppose, checked the Odyssey system. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
And you learned that the case was refused. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you know why it was refused?
I am not sure. I received a letter from the district attorney's office saying that the case is going to be refused. So further.
If I told you that I've learned that it was at the request of the complaining witness, would that be you wouldn't have any reason to disagree with that, right? Okay. When did you learn that the case had been indicted?
This morning.
Today?
Yes.
Yes, witness, Joe.
I have no questions for Ms. Staley.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other witnesses?
Not from us, Judge Raquel.
All right, Mr. Coleman.
Your Honor, I saw the reply. I'm sure the court's taking a look at
I
the
have.
reply. Your Honor, at this time, I would ask or submit to the court for your consideration a compilation of snippets of a 911 call and 2 body cams, just to kind of set it up for the court. That 911 call was about 8 minutes long, but I'll cut it down to about 4 minutes. I think all of those 4 minutes are kind of relevant for the judge's consideration this morning. And of the body cams, which were both more than an hour each, I've cut it down to about 2.5 minutes each. Just so you know, the entire clip or video is about a little less than 10 minutes long. But I try to cut it down just to what I think the court should consider or need to consider.
Mr. Kelly.
It's my understanding that the state's attorney doesn't intend to call the alleged complaining witness or any officers involved. So we would object to the admission of whatever this is without it being authenticated.
Judge, the rules of evidence are relaxed in these bond hearings.
They're relaxed. They're not no rules.
Yeah, I don't think there's, I mean, I don't think I can just help me find the spot where I can
Well, the
over
rules of
object.
evidence for these bond hearings, or at a minimum, they are relaxed, is my understanding with of the procedural posture for these hearings. I've played these videos for the court in these bond hearings before without a sponsoring witness, Judge.
Well, and if it was without objection, then that's one thing. But if there's an objection, then my thought would be we need to now probably one. I would be willing to say one officer, who could set up and look at both. I would be willing to not require, I think, the same amount of information. But I don't think they're so relaxed that I can just watch whatever.
That's fine, Judge. We ask that you recess it
Yeah,
at least for a little later in the morning, or I'll endeavor
yeah.
to make my best efforts to get the officer here to sponsor it. I will purport to the court that what you will hear on that 911 video is a 7-year-old daughter of the victim.
Well, and 911, if you can get one officer here, I think they're, in my opinion, for this type of hearing, they are well enough informed about how that works that I don't think I'm not going to require, if you can't get a 911 operator here or somebody from that office quickly, if you can get an officer that can testify that the other officer's body cam, he was also there potentially. I think relaxed to me, for this type of hearing would mean that. So I'm willing to give you some leeway on all of that if you can get someone here. So I'll hold it,
Yes, please.
make some calls, see if you can get them here this morning. If not, we are here this afternoon on another hearing. We can work around that, so that we can get to it today. What is your schedule like?
I have a hearing in another county, but this is a priority, so.
Okay, well, let's just see where Mr. Coleman can get with getting, just one of those officers here. All right, I'll hold it.
Thank you.